She stared into my eyes and said, "I regret nothing." Sipping my wine, I knew her world would crumble by dawn. Emily thought she controlled the game, but I, Ethan, had already moved the pieces. This wasn't a dinner to save our marriage. It was the funeral of her lies. In a quiet San Francisco bistro, her confidence would shatter. One envelope would change everything. The text lit up my phone screen at 2 a.m. Last night was unreal. It wasn't from a client or a friend. It was from Ryan, Emily's co-worker at the ad agency. I, Ethan, stared at the notification in our Mission District loft, the San Francisco skyline glowing faintly through the window. My wife of 7 years, Emily, slept soundly, her phone left carelessly on the kitchen counter. I didn't wake her. Instead, I opened the message thread. "Can't wait for Napa next week," Ryan had written. "Work trip, my ass," I thought, my pulse quickening. I'd always trusted Emily. At 32, she was a rising star in Silicon Valley's cutthroat ad world, her confidence magnetic. I was 35, a tech consultant who spent weekends coaching kids soccer, the guy everyone relied on. But that text cracked something in me. I didn't confront her, not yet. Rushing in would be sloppy, and I wasn't that guy. I needed proof, a plan, something concrete to unravel what she was hiding. By morning, I'd installed a tracking app on our shared cloud accounts, pitching it to Emily as a security upgrade for our loft. She barely glanced up from her coffee, nodding absently. "Sounds fine," she said, already scrolling through work emails. Her nonchalance was too polished, too practiced. I logged into the app from my laptop, and within hours, it flagged a reservation, a boutique hotel in Napa, booked under her name for a client meeting next Friday. No such meeting existed on her shared work calendar. I dug deeper. The app tracked her call logs, late-night chats with Ryan, some lasting over an hour, always when I was at late meetings or soccer practice. One call, time-stamped 11:47 p.m., had her laughing in a way I hadn't heard in months. I saved the logs, my jaw tight. Still, I kept my routine. Morning runs through Golden Gate Park, client calls, soccer drills with the kids. Emily noticed nothing, her smile sharp as ever when she kissed me goodbye each morning. A week later, Mia, Emily's best friend, called me. "We need to talk," she said, her voice low. We met at a crowded coffee shop in Hayes Valley. Mia, usually bubbly, fidgeted with her cup, avoiding my eyes. "I can't keep this from you," she finally said. "Emily's been seeing Ryan. It's been going on for months." My stomach twisted, but I stayed calm, asking for details. Mia spilled everything. Weekend work trips, to Napa, hushed conversations at agency events, Ryan's smug glances. "I thought she'd stop," Mia added. "But she's in too deep." I thanked her and left, my mind racing. Mia's confession was the spark, but I needed more than words. I contacted Sarah, a divorce lawyer recommended by a colleague. We met in her sleek downtown office, where she laid out my options. "Get evidence," she said. "Texts, receipts, anything tangible. Keep it legal, and don't tip her off." I nodded, already mapping my next steps. That night, I moved half our savings to a private account, citing investment planning, when Emily asked. She didn't push, too distracted by her phone. The Napa trip was days away. I cross-checked Emily's hotel booking with Ryan's LinkedIn. He'd posted about a team retreat, in the same town, same dates. No retreat was scheduled at their agency. I checked with a contact there. I downloaded their text thread from the cloud, saving flirty messages about wine tastings and late-night plans. Each word fueled my resolve, but I stayed silent, playing the dutiful husband. Emily packed for Napa, tossing in dresses she never wore for work. "Big client," she said, not meeting my eyes. I smiled, said nothing, and waved as she left. By Sunday, the app pinged again. A receipt for a $400 dinner at a Napa vineyard, charged to her company card. No client names, just her and Ryan. I forwarded it to Sarah, who added it to the file. "This is gold," she emailed back. "Keep going." I did. The next day, I canceled our joint streaming accounts and changed my banking passwords. Emily wouldn't notice until it was too late. I wasn't angry anymore, just focused, every move calculated. Mia texted me that evening. She's back from Napa, acting like nothing's wrong. I didn't reply. Instead, I reserved a table at a quiet No Valley bistro for Friday night, telling Emily I wanted to talk about us. She agreed, her voice light, probably expecting tears or a plea. I had other plans. In my desk drawer, an envelope waited, stuffed with screenshots, receipts, and divorce papers Sarah had drafted. Emily thought she was winning her game. She had no idea I'd already rewritten the rules. Friday night loomed, the bistro reservation set. I, Ethan, spent the week tightening my plan, every step deliberate. Emily's Napa trip had yielded more than just a dinner receipt. The tracking app caught her emailing Ryan from her work account. Can't stop thinking about last weekend. Let's plan Santa Barbara next. I saved the email, its timestamp tying it to a Monday she'd claimed was swamped with client pitches. The app also flagged a $200 spot charge on her company card, no business justification attached. My lawyer, Sarah, added it to the growing file. Her response swift. This shows a pattern. Keep digging. I didn't stop. A contact at Emily's agency, someone I'd met at a holiday party, tipped me off about a project she was supposedly leading. No such project existed. Instead, her calendar showed client lunches that matched Ryan's absences. I cross-referenced their locations via the app. Both phones pinged at the same wine bar in Palo Alto during one of her meetings. I downloaded the data, my hand steady despite the knot in my chest. Each piece locked into place, building an airtight case. Midweek, I met Mia again, this time at a park bench in Dolores Park. She looked uneasy, glancing around before speaking. Emily's been acting weird, she said. She's paranoid, checking her phone constantly. I think she suspects you know something. I shrugged, revealing nothing. Mia hesitated, then handed me a USB drive. Screenshots from her work laptop. I got access through a shared drive. It's bad, Ethan. I plugged the drive into my laptop later that night. Messages between Emily and Ryan detailed their cover stories, mocking my trust. He's too busy with soccer to notice, Emily had written. I clenched my jaw, saved the files, and sent them to Sarah. Thursday, I escalated. I contacted a cybersecurity friend, Liam, who owed me a favor from college. Check my devices, I told him over coffee in Soma. I need to know if she's tracking me. Liam scanned my laptop and phone, finding a hidden keylogger on my system, installed months ago. Emily had been reading my emails, likely looking for signs I was onto her. This is illegal, Liam said, exporting the evidence. You could press charges. I shook my head. Charges weren't the goal, control was. I had Sarah document the keylogger for the divorce case. That same day, I finalized my financial moves. I closed a joint credit card, citing fraud concerns, to the bank, and rerouted my direct deposits to a new account. Emily wouldn't notice until she tried using the card. I also canceled our shared gym membership, claiming a billing error. Each action was quiet, legal, and precise, cutting her access to my life bit by bit. Sarah approved, texting, "You're building a fortress. She won't see it coming." Friday morning, Emily left for work, her tone breezy. "See you at the bistro," she said, kissing my cheek. I nodded, hiding the envelope in my jacket. At noon, I met Claire, Ryan's fiancée, at a cafe in the marina. I'd reached out anonymously through a burner email, sharing just enough to hint at Ryan's betrayal. Claire was sharp, a graphic designer who didn't tolerate games. "Show me," she demanded, her voice low. I slid her a folder with redacted screenshots, texts between Ryan and Emily, hotel bookings, nothing traceable to me. Her face hardened as she read. "I'm done with him," she said, pocketing the folder. "Thanks for this." I left without a word, knowing she'd act fast. By 7 p.m., I was at the No Valley Bistro, the envelope heavy in my pocket. Emily arrived, her confidence unshaken, sipping a glass of Pinot Noir. "So, what's this about?" she asked, leaning back, her tone almost playful. I didn't flinch. "We need to talk," I said, my voice even. She launched into a rehearsed speech about our drifting apart, her words polished, deflecting blame. I listened, letting her dig deeper. Then, as the waiter cleared our plates, I slid the envelope across the table. "What's this?" she asked, her smile faltering. "Read it when you're home," I said, standing. "You'll understand by morning." I walked out, her eyes boring into my back. At 1 a.m., my phone buzzed. Emily, frantic. "My card's declined." "What the hell, Ethan?" I didn't answer. She called again, leaving a voicemail. "This isn't funny. Call me back." I saved it for Sarah. By 3 a.m., Claire texted my burner number, confronted Ryan. He admitted everything. We're over. The first domino had fallen. Emily's world was starting to crack, and I hadn't even played my full hand. The bistro confrontation was just the opening move. By Saturday morning, Emily's world began to unravel. At 6 a.m., my phone buzzed with another voicemail from her. "Ethan, what's in the envelope? Why are my accounts frozen?" Her voice cracked, the confidence from last night gone. I didn't respond. Instead, I emailed her boss, David, from an anonymous account, attaching screenshots of her texts with Ryan and receipts for personal expenses on the company card. $1,200 in Napa hotel stays, $600 in dinners, all unrelated to work. The subject line read, misuse of agency resources. I blind copied Sarah, my lawyer, to keep everything documented. By 9 a.m., Emily called again, her tone desperate. They're auditing my expense reports, Ethan. Did you do this? I stayed silent, letting her words pile up in voicemails for Sarah's file. Meanwhile, I met Liam, my cybersecurity friend, at a tech hub in Soma. He dug deeper into the keylogger Emily installed on my laptop. It's been active for 4 months, he said, handing me a report. She was tracking your emails, calendar, even your soccer schedule. The report showed she'd accessed my client correspondence, likely to gauge my suspicions. Sarah added it to the divorce case, noting it as unauthorized surveillance. At noon, Claire, Ryan's ex-fiancée, messaged my burner email, talk to HR. Ryan suspended pending investigation. Her words confirmed the second domino had fallen. I'd sent her more evidence. Anonymized hotel confirmations linking Ryan to Emily's trips. Claire had forwarded them to the agency, blowing their cover story wide open. I didn't linger on her gratitude. My focus was on the next step. I contacted a friend, Nate, who worked in the agency's IT department. Check their internal chat logs, I said, keeping my tone casual. Nate owed me for helping him land the job. By evening, he sent me a zipped file. Emily and Ryan's Slack messages, filled with plans to expense their next getaway as a team-building retreat. I forwarded it to David and HR, ensuring no trace led back to me. Sunday morning, Emily showed up at our Mission District loft, banging on the door. Ethan, open up. We need to talk. I watched her from the window, her phone clutched tightly as she paced the sidewalk. I didn't open the door. Instead, I texted Sarah. She's here. Record everything. I'd installed a doorbell camera weeks ago, citing package thefts. It captured Emily's outburst, her voice rising as she shouted, "You're ruining my life." The footage went straight to Sarah, another piece for the divorce hearing. By Monday, the agency acted. David emailed Emily and Ryan, suspending them both for violating company policy. I got the news from Nate, who overheard HR discussing gross misconduct. Emily's calls turned frantic, 5 in an hour. They're firing me, Ethan. You sent those emails, didn't you? Her voicemails grew erratic, blaming me, then pleading for a meeting. I saved each one, replying only once, talk to my lawyer. Sarah drafted a cease communication letter, warning Emily against further contact. That afternoon, I met Mia at a quiet bar in the Castro. She looked drained, her loyalty to Emily fraying. She's spinning stories, Mia said. Told HR you were controlling, that you fabricated the receipts. I nodded, unsurprised. Emily's desperation made her predictable. Mia handed me a printed email from Emily's work account, sent to Ryan after the suspensions. We need to say Ethan set us up. It's our only shot. I sent it to Sarah, who called it a gift for the case. It proved Emily's intent to deflect blame, undermining any defense she might try. Tuesday, I executed the next move. I contacted my bank, flagging unauthorized login attempts from Emily's IP address, traced by Liam. The bank locked her out completely, citing security protocols. I also canceled our shared cloud storage, wiping her access to years of photos and documents. She'd backed up nothing, assuming I'd never cut her off. Her texts flooded in. Why can't I access anything? What are you doing? I ignored them, forwarding the thread to Sarah. By Wednesday, Claire called me directly, her number unblocked from our earlier contact. Ryan's done, she said. HR found more expenses, thousands he charged for client gifts. He's out, and I'm pressing charges for fraud. She didn't know I'd sent the initial tip, and I kept it that way. Her decision amplified the fallout, ensuring Ryan faced consequences beyond a broken engagement. I thanked her and hung up, my focus shifting to the final play. That night, I prepared for the divorce hearing, now just days away. Sarah confirmed the evidence was overwhelming. Texts, receipts, the keylogger, Emily's email to Ryan, and the doorbell footage. She has no leverage, Sarah said. The judge will see through any lies. I nodded, feeling not triumph but clarity. Emily thought she could outplay me, but every move she made tightened the noose she'd tied herself. The bistro envelope was just the start. Her lies were about to bury her. Thursday morning, the fallout intensified. Emily's suspension from the agency turned into a formal termination notice. Nate, my IT contact, forwarded me the internal memo. Emily Carter and Ryan Holt dismissed for misappropriation of funds and breach of ethics. I leaned back in my Mission District loft, the the weight of months of planning settling into quiet satisfaction. My phone buzzed with her texts. "You've destroyed me, Ethan. How could you?" But I didn't engage. Each message was another exhibit for Sarah, my lawyer, who was finalizing the divorce papers for next week's hearing. At 10 a.m., Claire, Ryan's ex-fiancée, emailed my burner account with an update. She'd filed a civil suit against Ryan for deceptive financial practices, citing the agency's findings. She'd also shared the hotel receipts I'd sent her with a local news blog, which ran a story about ethical lapses in Silicon Valley's ad scene. The article didn't name me, but painted Emily and Ryan as reckless opportunists. Social media amplified the scandal, with agency insiders tweeting vague references to trust violations. Emily's professional network began to shun her. By noon, Mia texted me from a coffee shop in Oakland. "Emily's crashing with a cousin in Berkeley," she wrote. "She's begging her old boss for a reference, but no one's biting." I didn't reply. Mia's updates were useful, but my focus was on sealing every loose end. I called Liam, my cybersecurity friend, to audit my devices again. He found a secondary tracking app on my phone, likely installed by Emily during a tech support moment months ago. "She was watching your texts," Liam said, disabling it. I sent the evidence to Sarah, who noted it as further proof of Emily's overreach. That afternoon, I met Sarah at her downtown office. She spread out the case file, screenshots, expense reports, the keylogger report, Slack messages, and the doorbell footage of Emily's outburst. "This is bulletproof," she said. "She tried calling me yesterday, offering to settle quietly. I told her to put it in writing." Emily's email arrived an hour later, a rambling plea claiming she'd been stressed and misled by Ryan. Sarah smirked. "This contradicts her HR story. She's sinking herself." I nodded, authorizing Sarah to reject the offer and push for a full hearing. Friday, I took a bolder step. I contacted a former colleague, Tara, who ran a tech blog with a wide Bay Area readership. Anonymously, I shared a redacted version of Emily's email to Ryan, where they plotted to frame me for workplace harassment. Tara published a post titled "Deceptions in Adland," hinting at a married executive and her colleague scheming to dodge accountability. The post went viral, racking up thousands of shares. Emily's LinkedIn profile, once polished, now sat dormant, her connections dropping by the hour. Saturday night, Emily tried a new tactic. A letter arrived at the loft, slipped under the door. "Ethan, I know I messed up. I thought I could fix things without hurting you. Please, let's talk." Her handwriting shook, but I felt no pull to respond. I scanned the letter and emailed it to Sarah, who added it to the file as an admission of guilt. To ensure no further surprises, I had Liam sweep the loft's Wi-Fi network, uncovering a smart speaker Emily had linked to her account. It had recorded snippets of her calls with Ryan, including one where she laughed about keeping Ethan in the dark. Liam extracted the audio. Sarah filed it as evidence. Sunday, I met Claire again, this time at a park in Sausalito. She looked lighter, her resolve firm. "Ryan's moving to Denver," she said. "He's toxic, and the agency's blacklisting him." She thanked me again, unaware I'd orchestrated the leaks. I kept it that way, asking only if she was okay. "Better than ever," she said, walking off with purpose. Her strength mirrored mine, a quiet resolve to rebuild after betrayal. Monday morning, Emily made a final desperate move. She emailed my boss, Greg, claiming I was unstable and needed support. Greg called me, confused. "She's saying you're harassing her," he said. I explained the divorce, the evidence, and Emily's lies. Greg promised to block her emails and keep it confidential. I thanked him, then sent Sarah the email chain. "She's burning bridges," Sarah said. "This will bury her in court." By Tuesday, the agency's investigation wrapped up. Nate texted, "They're auditing all of Emily's projects. Clients are pulling contracts." Her reputation, once her currency, was worthless. My phone stayed quiet. No more texts, no calls. Emily's silence felt heavier than her pleas, a sign she knew the end was near. I walked through Golden Gate Park, the divorce hearing looming. Every step felt like shedding her shadow, my life coming back into focus. The divorce hearing arrived on Wednesday, a crisp San Francisco morning. I, Ethan, walked into the courthouse with Sarah, my lawyer, the evidence file heavy in her briefcase. Emily sat across the room, her attorney flipping through papers with a resigned look. She avoided my gaze, her hands fidgeting. Sarah presented the case, screenshots of Emily's texts with Ryan, Napa hotel receipts, Slack messages plotting to frame me, the keylogger on my laptop, and the doorbell footage of her outburst. The judge reviewed each item, his expression unreadable. Emily's lawyer argued she acted under emotional duress, but Sarah countered with her emailed confession, admitting to the affair and lies. The judge granted the divorce, denying Emily alimony and ordering her to relinquish all access to my accounts. I left the courthouse, the weight of 7 years lifted. That afternoon, Nate texted from the agency. Emily's clients are gone. Agencies suing her for damages. The news blog's viral post had sparked a wider probe into the agency's finances, exposing more of Emily's missteps. Her career in Silicon Valley was over. I didn't linger on it. Instead, I donated our old wedding photos to a charity auction, keeping only a single picture of us from better days, not for sentiment, but as a reminder of what I'd overcome. I texted Sarah to confirm the court's ruling was filed, ensuring no appeals could disrupt my freedom. Thursday, Mia called, her voice soft. Emily's moving to Portland, she said. She's starting over, working retail. Says she's sorry, but knows you're done. I thanked Mia for the update, then blocked her number. Her loyalty to Emily had worn thin, and I needed no more ties to that circle. I met Liam at a tech cafe in Dogpatch to clear the last digital traces of Emily. He wiped her access from my home network, confirming the smart speaker's recordings were securely stored with Sarah. You're clean, Liam said, handing me a report. I nodded, paying for his coffee as thanks. Friday, I took a final step to close the chapter. I called my parents, inviting them to San Francisco. Over dinner at a taco spot in the Mission, I laid out the truth. Emily's betrayal, my evidence, the divorce. My mom hugged me, tears in her eyes, while my dad clapped my shoulder. You did what was right, he said. Their support grounded me, a reminder I wasn't alone. I didn't mention the blog post or Claire's lawsuit. Those details didn't matter. What mattered was their trust in my choices. Saturday, Claire messaged my burner email. Ryan's settled out of court. He's broke and gone from Denver. Her civil suit had drained him, and the agency's blacklisting ensured he'd find no work in tech. She added, I'm free now thanks to you. I didn't reply, deleting the burner account. Her gratitude was enough, but my role stayed anonymous. I spent the day running in Golden Gate Park, each stride reclaiming energy I'd lost to Emily's lies. My phone, once flooded with her pleas, was silent, a testament to my control. Sunday, I found a letter from Emily in my mailbox, postmarked from Portland. Ethan, I was selfish. I lost everything because of my choices. I don't expect forgiveness, but I'm trying to change. I read it once, then filed it with Sarah for the record. It wasn't closure I needed. Her words couldn't undo the damage. Instead, I hired a contractor to rekey my loft's locks, erasing her last connection to my space. The new keys felt like a fresh start, each turn of the lock a step forward. Monday, I reconnected with old friends at a brewery in Soma. Nate and Liam joined, toasting to new beginnings. We laughed about college days, avoiding any mention of Emily. I signed up for a half marathon, something I hadn't done since my 20s, and updated my LinkedIn to reflect a new consulting project. My life was mine again, not defined by her betrayal. The agency scandal faded from the news, but its impact lingered. Emily and Ryan were pariahs in their field, their names tied to failure. By Tuesday, I walked the Mission streets, the city's pulse syncing with my own. A final email from Sarah confirmed the divorce was finalized, no contest from Emily. She tried contacting my boss again, claiming I'd orchestrated her downfall, but Greg dismissed it, citing my evidence. I deleted her last voicemails without listening. My parents texted, planning a visit next month. I smiled, booking a restaurant for their trip. Emily's shadow was gone, replaced by a future I was building, one choice at a time.